Hello, QS nurses. I'm AJ Crest, and I'm assisting with the new AFLAC benefits for QS nurses. Christy Deason is going to be the lead agent and the lead contact for your group. At the end of this presentation today, I'm going to display her contact information. You should have also received it via email prior to watching this video. So, first thing that I want to do today is just go over for you what is AFLAC. AFLAC is coverage that is there for you in the instance that you have a catastrophic event occur. So some of our coverage also does include some minor events, but the main concept is that if you have something catastrophic occur. So for example, if you break a leg, break an arm, are unable to work, you have a serious illness such as a cancer diagnosis. These kind of situations, even with major medical coverage, still puts you at risk for having thousands of dollars come out of your own pocket. We know that there are very few people in America that report having, $1,000 on hand to just be able to grab to go pay a hospital bill. So AFLAC policies are there designed to put money in your pocket so that you have the ability to pay those expenses. The really nice thing about AFLAC is that we pay you directly. Therefore, it's your money to do with what you want. If it's most important for you to pay that doctor bill, then great, get that paid. But sometimes in the instance that you have something catastrophic occur, it's most important that you make a car payment or you buy some groceries to put on the table and that you make an arrangement for paying that hospital bill off a different way. So all of the monies that are related to the benefits from AFLAC coverage come directly to the policyholder. It's the policyholder's money to do with what they want as they see fit. So a couple things that I really also like about AFLAC is that we do not coordinate benefits. So that means that we're going to pay regardless of other coverage. A good example is if you have a car accident and car insurance is picking up the hospital bills, you're still going to have a payment from AFLAC that comes straight to you, even if you don't actually have a hospital bill related to that accident. So we're also insurance that you can use and that we want you to use. So you know how you go through and you have car insurance that you pay for years and then you have a claim and all of a sudden your rates go up? Well, that does not happen with AFLAC. We're very rate stable. Whatever you see as your rate, whatever you enroll in is what you can expect to pay year after year after year. And even if you utilize the policy several times throughout a year, we're not going to sit down and say, okay, here's your new rate, or we're going to drop you from coverage because you've been using the policy. So we do actually want you to use it. So those are a couple key features of AFLAC. This is a benefit that QS Nurses is bringing to you. One of the things that you'll be able to have access to is some rate information. There is a cost to you directly to participate in any of the programs, but the really nice thing is that since QS Nurses is bringing this to you as an employee benefit, you are getting a group discount. And so that's, for example, I said the accident policy earlier. If you was to come into our office and just do that directly outside of a payroll group, you're going to pay about half the price, or 2 times the price. So you're getting it for half the cost through QS Nurses. You're also getting several of these policies, or most of them, as a pre-tax deduction. So you're saving some tax dollars on the premium as well. So for example, if you're paying $20 a month in premium, it feels like it's only costing you about $15 because of the tax difference. And then last but not least, and one of the most important things, is that there are policies that are available to you that are not available outside of an employer group. So our short-term disability policy is one of those. That's insurance on your income. And I have lots of people that always are asking about that, but outside of an employer group, it's not available directly. So what I want to do today is I want to be sure, and I want to go through for you how you can access the different coverages that are available to you. And I also want to give you a short little description of each one, okay? So to start with, I'm going to share this screen here. And then I'm going to take you to a site that you should have received a link to in an email that went out, and it is everwellbenefits.com. So right here on the screen, you can see everwellbenefits.com. That's where you will go. The first time that you go to this site, you will need to click on this button here that says First Time Visitor. Then you will go through and you will enter your information, first and last name, date of birth, zip code, and then your group number. I'm going to pause here. I need to grab your group number. Okay, your group number is L0D21. That should also have been in an email that you received. So you'll type that in, and then you should be able to go continue to finish registration. And you'll type in your social. After you type in your social, the next screen you'll get here is to complete your registration. So you'll just go through these steps, set up a password. Your username is automatically your first initial and then your last name. Answer some security questions. Verify your policy or your personal information. Choose your policy delivery type. If you put in an email address here, then you can receive electronic delivery. If you do not have an email address, then you'll need to choose paper. You can add dependents at this time. If you have dependents that you want covered, I recommend this. If you're not sure and you just want to review the coverages, you can always add dependents later. And then your account is set up. Takes just a minute here. And then you'll see this screen when you first log in. So basically you want to, if you want to manage your personal information, this is where you can add dependents or make any changes to that. Most important thing I want to show you today is this resources tab right here. So if you go here to the benefit library and you choose AFLAC, this is going to show you the different policies that we have available. AFLAC, and then you can choose this drop down to kind of make things simpler. You'll see there's videos that you can watch. So the first thing that you see here is our accident policy. So to just give you a broad overview of what the accident policy is it's coverage for any type of injury that you seek treatment for. So it's going to pay you benefits according to whatever it is that you go through. In the brochure here, if you open it, you'll see that the example that AFLAC gives is of a broken leg that requires surgery to reset. By the time it's all said and done, the benefit from AFLAC is about $5,570. So that's an example of like a broken bone. Sometimes you just have something minor happen. You go in, you get checked out, nothing's broken. They tell you to go home and ice it. In that instance, you're looking at anywhere between about $150 to $200, depending on if you went to an urgent care or an ER, if they had to do an X-ray or not. And so that's just an example of something very minor. But you know, when it comes to injuries, they can get pretty major. There's hospitalization benefit in that. One really nice thing is that there is also $40,000 of accidental death benefit built in there. So you'll be able to name a beneficiary to leave those monies to. Next, we have our cancer product. And so if you choose that in the drop down, you can see the different, there's the different options, option 1 and option 2. I'm giving you 2 different tiered options because option 1 is very good coverage that is very budget friendly. It's affordable, put some coverage in place for you, but price-wise it costs just a little bit less. And option 2 is better coverage. Still I think is good for the budget, but most important thing we want to do is get you the coverage that is most important to you, but keeping your budget in mind. We don't ever want you to be in a situation where you're struggling to pay your day-to-day bills because of your insurance coverage. So you'll see here this example is of a typical scenario with a cancer diagnosis and some treatment options. The $10,775 is what gets paid out total. This here goes through each benefit that's available and what amount it pays. Just remember, all of those things add up on top of each other. This goes over some optional riders that you can do. For example, and one really important thing about our cancer policy is that if you have the policy and you have children, your kids are covered for free. So when you have children on your policy, you can also choose to pay, and I think it's about 90 cents a month, to have this dependent child rider that will automatically give you $10,000 if your child is diagnosed with cancer. That is on top of the initial diagnosis benefit that AFLAC already doubles for children. So on this particular policy, you can see that if it was for yourself, you'd have $1,000 initial diagnosis, but for your kid, it's $2,000. So that $10,000 would mean right up front, you're going to get $12,000 just to get your fight started. All of the AFLAC policies, we do not have a network of providers. You can go to any doctor that you choose. We're not going to tell you how you have to treat anything or what you have to do. There's not hoops you have to jump through before we pay certain benefits. We're just going to pay for whatever treatment that you're going through in regards to the coverage that you have. So after the cancer policy is the short-term disability policy. And so this one is insurance on your income, okay? I highly encourage looking at these little videos. They explain the policies really well. The brochure on the disability policy is a little bit harder to look at. This one, if you're interested in it, is a good one to get with Christy to really kind of crunch some numbers and make sure that you understand the policy. But it pays for time off of work if you are hurt or sick and cannot work, okay? It is also really great for maternity leave because it will pay either a 6 or an 8-week benefit, just depending on if you have to have a C-section or not, for maternity leave. So that's always a really nice thing, and I think something that gets pretty popular for folks to look at. But it will pay for anything that the doctor takes you off of work for, sickness or injury related. Okay. Then we have the vision policy. So this is designed to help with the cost of your annual eye exams as well as corrective benefit. Once again, we have the video on it. We have the brochure on it. You get a $45 payment for having an eye exam done. If you have other coverage that you say you're only paying like a $25 copay when you go, you still are going to receive $45 from AFLAC for having that vision exam done. On our vision policy, you pay the provider when you go, you submit a receipt to AFLAC, and then we reimburse you. So AFLAC is very, very proud of how quickly we reimburse. You can see a one-day pay flyer here. Basically, you can set up your account with direct deposit, submit documentation, and the money will be in your bank account the next day. So once again, the claims processing is very quick. And then last but not least is our dental policy. And so this is designed to help with cost of dental care. There is a benefit for your cleanings. The benefit for that is going to be usually about 50% of what it costs to go to the dentist. But keep in mind, we pay a flat dollar amount. Okay, so we're not paying, we're not saying, hey, doc, you can only charge $100 and then we'll pay 50% of that. We're paying a flat dollar amount. You can go to whatever dentist that you choose. And right here, you'll see for your preventative exams, your wellness, your x-rays, there's no waiting period. This coverage, everything that we're talking about today will be effective December 1st. You can start going to that dentist on December 1st. And then your benefit amount will be $50 2 times a year for the cleaning, and then a $35 x-ray benefit. like I said, you can expect most dentists for that to be about half the cost, but ask your dentist what those procedures cost ahead of time so that you know. For your filling services, so if you have a cavity that you need filled, you'll see there is a 3-month wait on that. So, and then the 15 to 250, it just really depends on, every tooth pays different. It costs different at the dentist. So if you have a cavity, once again, I encourage you just ask your dentist, what's it going to cost to have that cavity filled? How are you going to fill it? And you even get a schedule with your policy that'll say exactly the amount that Aflac pays. But you do have a 3-month waiting period before that coverage kicks in. So if we've got December, January, and February, so it would be March 1st is the date that you could go have a filling done and that be covered. That pain management, that's the same thing. That would be kind of the shot that they give you in regards to getting the cavity filled. There's benefit for that. Other preventative services are things like root canals. There's a 6-month wait. Your crowns and more major services, there's a 12-month wait. So it wouldn't be till December of 2019 that you would have coverage for that. And then your major prosthetic services would be things like dentures. Once again, all of these coverages, I highly encourage you if you're interested. In order to enroll, you have to get with Christy Deason. You have the ability to decline your benefits through the website, but you don't have the ability to enroll in them directly. We want to make sure that nobody is enrolling in something that they don't understand. So we'll have you work with the agent directly. Just depending on what questions you have, your conversation with Christy can be less than 5 minutes. But of course it can also be up to, maybe 15 to 20. So our goal is to make sure that you guys have coverage that is important to you, but is not, like I said, making your budget harder to pay bills day to day. So rule of thumb that we typically use is 2 hours per week worth of pay. You don't want to spend over that on your insurance coverage. In the email that you received a price sheet. So if you have questions on that, once again, reach out to Christy Deason. I'm going to get you her contact information at the end of the slideshow, and it should also be in your email. Okay, so we are asking that everybody go to the Everwell site and make an election one way or another. That way QS Nurses has documentation on the fact that you are aware the benefits exist and which way you would prefer to elect, either that you want it or that you don't. This is a benefit that is being made available to all employees, including part-time employees. As you work with Christy, just be sure that if you only work, 8 hours in a week, I believe you guys all have to work at least 1 shift a week, that, that your deductions are going to make sense. So once again, keeping yourself within that budget. If this is coverage that you want and you need to pick up a few extra shifts, I believe that that's something that, can happen for you guys. So be sure and visit with Brooke or whoever it is that you need to make sure that if you want the coverage that you have enough hours to cover your deduction, okay? I am going to show you one other thing real fast here, and that is when you log in, where you need to go in order to decline the Aflac benefit. So if this is coverage that you already have through other means, maybe a spouse or something like that, or it's just not coverage that you're interested in participating in, then you still do need to take action on your part. And so I'm going to go right back over here to the Everwell screen. When you log in, you're going to see, that your open enrollment will end in 46 days. For those of you that are really observant, this does look a little bit different. I did have to adjust something on the screen before it was in regards to a new hire. So, but your open enrollment is going to end on November 16th. So your coverage will start December 1st, and we want everybody to have their elections made one way or another by November 16th. So if you click this Get Started button right here, then you will see a screen pop up that is going to have all 5 different coverage options available to you. And you will just go through and, for example, if you click on View Plan here for the accident, you'll see that starts at $6.21 per week. That is for individual coverage. You can also view plan information here. But if you're not interested in this, you would just simply click Decline Benefit. Okay, so if you would please go through and just make your election in regards to each one of those. If you're not interested in any of the coverage, go through and click decline on each one. If you are wanting to enroll in a plan, if you click on view plan, you'll notice that if you click here on continue next to that you're going to need to have a producer login with you. So like I said, we have that locked down, so then that way we are sure that nobody is enrolling in anything that they do not mean to enroll in. You can get on the phone with Christy, email Christy, she'll set up a time. Like I said, it can be a very short conversation. You can sign all of your applications via, basically she goes in, puts in her producer number, shoots you an email, then you log back in, and then you're able to, or you actually don't even need an email, I'm sorry, she can just call you or text you, then you're able to log back in and sign your applications. So that way we're sure that you understand the coverage options and that you're only enrolling in something that you want to enroll in, okay? So I just want to, I'm actually going to mess that up here real quick. There we go. Okay. I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to work with QS nurses. I know AFLAC is one of those benefits that we see people utilize over and over, and it can really make a difference for them in, you know, in a hard time. And that's what we want to do, is we want to be there for you. So any questions that you have, here is Christy's contact information as I promised. And this is both her cell phone and office number, as well as her email address. So all three of those are good ways to get a hold of her. You know, she may need to return calls because she may be in meetings or with somebody, but she's very good at getting back with you quickly. And I know she also will accept text messages to her cell phone. So, oh, you know what? I don't know that I shared that. Let me try this again. I think I was I think you were just looking at me. Let me try that. So here is Christy's information. So like I said, this is also should have been in the email that you received with the link to this video. So, okay. Alrighty. Thank you very much. Any questions you have, please don't hesitate to reach out to Christy. Thank you.